Koholo Yahweh Bashim Yabushai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone rule well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Not sure what I'm going to title this, but something's fishy, right? We understand that the story may not be as it seems, but I want to let this play. And there's a certain three-letter agency that is really good, even has a campaign for misinformation and disinformation. So, okay. First, no, let me get that. So let's say So let's get the definition of these, okay? So disinformation is false information deliberately spread to deceive people. Disinformation is an orchestrated adversarial activity in which actors employ strategic deception and media manipulation tactics to advance political, military, or commercial goals. Okay. So that's disinformation. So what's misinformation? False or inaccurate information, especially that which is deliberately intended to deceive. Right. So we understand. I'm gonna let this story I'm gonna let half of this play, and then we'll get, we'll get some scriptures.
Is dead after a shooting outside the Gage Park facility. Alderman Ray Lopez confirmed the 28-year-old man died from his injuries. Police say he was on the sidewalk when an unknown car pulled up and someone inside that car fired shots at the man, hitting him in the head. The alderman says the man was the intended target.
To all Venezuelans in Chicago, this is the warning. If you ain't on no bullshit, stay neutral. Somebody please translate. Stay neutral. If you know somebody that's in your building on bullshit, don't let them run in that building, and don't let nobody see them run in that building. Because once word get out that that's the building that they in, they gonna chop that bitch down. Whatever building, the abandoned building y'all occupying and all that shit, you better get your food and just stay in the house, because they come out doing some bullshit. Y'all gonna regret that. You're gonna really regret that. So, I don't speak Spanish, so somebody need to translate. I hope they got TikTok that translate, I guess. They can kind of make me seem like I'm speaking Spanish. But anyway, take this like a grain of salt if you like. But this ain't Colorado.
And that's where I want to stop it. Now, a rumor, misinformation, or disinformation doesn't even have to be true for it to take hold. It can be disproven and people will still run with that narrative. As far as I know, there have been people that have gone to the very space that they say, the building was overtaken in Aurora, but nothing was happening. And it's kind of the same way where in a certain incident back in 2019 and 2020, where they said the hospital beds are filling up and they have no room to keep people. So many people are dying from the COVID. And then these other folks would go to the hospital with their phones recording, and it's empty, status quo, nothing going on. So again, it doesn't even have to be true. You just have to put it out there and let it take its course. Now, the Venezuelan man that was killed could have most likely been Venezuelan, but they are synonymously linking Venezuelan people to specific gangs. So when you hear the word Venezuelan, you automatically associate it with gang activity or some sort of nefarious act or a bad actor. So what's being put out, but what's actually happening are two different things. Elder Malcolm also has a video about where he talks about how, especially in Chicago, Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom are bonding together. So who's putting this riff? Who's putting this information? And this is a rhetorical question, obviously. Who's putting this information out? So it's always good to take things with a grain of salt, and exercise your scruples. Let's start with what I want to lead this into. Actually, is one, keeping your eyes single and seeking the Lord so that wisdom can dwell in you and you can be able to, analyze things and pay attention to what's going on. Always question, especially when something is being put out, because the Aurora people that were speaking out about the Aurora issue not being true, they're being shadow banned, but this is being put on 444 call Halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But this is being blasted, and it just keeps keeps getting put out. So you definitely want to analyze everything, especially not just take things and run with it. This is Matthew 6:22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Right? So having that eye single, or you know what, let's go into what the word single is. I'll pull it up here. I'm right next to my computer, but I'm using my phone, but I'll call it out, and you also, anybody that happens to see this, you can follow along. Okay? So single is going to be Strong's G57. Oh, I'm sorry, Strong's G 573 or 573.
Strong's G 573. Haplus.
Haplus. That's HAPLOUS. Simple, single, whole, good, fulfilling its office. All right. So when I think of that word simple, the first one is simple and single, right? And it is, there's simplicity in Yahweh Shai. You just, boom, you're right there. You do this, you do that. There is no gray area. There is no roundabout talking, no circumlocution. It is black is black and white is white, right? When you're talking about what is good and what is good and what is bad, or what is right and what is wrong, right? And the second one I want to get, since we're talking on dwelling in wisdom, is Wisdom of Solomon, the first chapter, right? Seeking Yahweh Shai. And these are things that you will be able to do. You'll be able to kind of, dissect things. Before coming into the truth, a lot of us would have taken things at face value. But, given the Spirit, it works even in, for worldly aspects as well. So where you can watch what's going on and again, analyze and dissect. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what people say, how people say it. Waiting and watching and paying attention and seeing what narrative is built where, who's saying what, all these things. Basically you're consistently analyzing, consistently paying attention, not falling for the devil's what is 2 Corinthians 2nd chapter? You're not ignorant of Satan's devices, right? And we'll pull that up. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 4, right? So these are things: you chase righteousness, chase the Lord, love wisdom, fear his name, and things will be added unto you. Necessary things that you need to survive behind enemy lines. Necessary things that you need to grow stronger in this truth. And, a byproduct is being able to see through the bullshit, all right? Having eyes like an owl. The owl has a salve around his eyes that allows him to see in the dark. And in the scriptures, darkness is synonymous, or a metaphor for lack of an understanding, or not being able to tell what is what. Let's start at the top. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showed himself unto such as do not distrust him. For forward thoughts separate from God, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. So here's what I want right here, verse 4. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. Actually, I really like this. Is one of my favorite scriptures because it really hit home when I first read this. When I read this for the very first time. Okay, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without the understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. For wisdom, I'm going to keep reading. For wisdom is a loving spirit and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is a witness of his reins and a true beholder of his heart and hearer of his tongue. Actually, that's not it. The one I was looking for is that the wisdom will try you by your reins, and it won't, at first it'll be bitter unto you and until it can trust you, and then wisdom will dwell with you. I don't remember exactly where that is, but I'm sure it's either in Ecclesiasticus or in this one. If I remember, I will add that into the description box, but we made our point here with 1 through 4. I should say 1 through 5.
This ain't Utah. This ain't none of them places. This is just like where you from. The only difference is y'all use a lot of handgun.
Well, he gonna go on to say we got switches or whatever. So let me get 2 Corinthians, or I'm sorry, it is say. Let me get 2 Corinthians since I mentioned it before. And again, this is really honing in on, that video was just a backdrop, but it's really honing in on seeking knowledge, seeking the Lord, asking for that wisdom, asking for that faith. Now, you will be tried. Understand, this is not something that is just handed. It will be given to you liberally, but there is a trial. All right, there is a situation that you will be put in that you will have to exercise such as what you ask. Okay? But what better teacher than experience? 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, but I just want to read the second part. That's all I wanted to get from here, okay? So at the second part of 11, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right, Satan should take advantage of us, right? For we are not ignorant of his devices. These are a part of his devices: the misinformation, the disinformation, the PSYOP campaigns. There are 3-letter agencies and yeah, we'll leave it at that. There are 3-letter agencies that they're specific, or they have specific wings. They have specific departments just for mis and disinformation. Now, what I want to show you here, this is The Boys. If you haven't seen it, I mean, it's just going to be a spoiler. It's been out for 2 months, even longer maybe. But I'm going to mute it. Can I mute it? It can't. It's connected to my phone volume. But I'll link this clip and you can watch it on your own. Now, Sister Sage is one of the newer members, and of course, it's the Jake woman of the boy, or not the boys of the Fabulous 7, or the Big 7, the top superheroes, right, of the world. And she is trying to stir up a little chaos, right, to make the good guys look bad and the bad guys, which is them, look good, all for political gain. So prior to, they get some of so Homelander's the lead guy, he's sadistic psychopath. The Homelander is the lead guy, and they gather a couple of random fans that are like their favorite. Homelander is their favorite hero, and they pretend that they're having a private meet and greet. Now, Homelander has one of his other lackeys beat these guys to death with a bat, and then throw them out into this protest that is happening. And then they say, "Look what the other side has done." I spoke to beforehand. Sister Sage kicks off. It's a peaceful protest, and she kicks off by spitting on somebody or throwing something at someone. I don't remember, and that's what starts it off. And in the midst of all the chaos, in the midst of all the chaos, they throw those dead bodies, they throw those corpses out that were already killed prior to. So these are things that go on. It's funny that, you know, how art imitates life. Now, I will link this and you can watch this on your own. I'm probably, I might get a copyright if I try to play this, especially if the sound is up. But yeah, pay attention to what goes on around you. Seek Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. Fear the Lord. Fear his name. Walk upright to the best of your ability. Seek him while he may be found. Chase wisdom. Chase knowledge. Chase discipline within, you know, within these scriptures. And watch how the Lord will give you eyes to see and ears to hear, not only for the true understanding of the scriptures, which is most important, but you will able to see through the bull, the crap, the mess that is this earth, this carnal side of the world, and you'll see that this devil isn't as smart as we, you know, prior to being in the truth, as we once thought he was. All right. So with that being said.